Yo, what up, Graphics 5D here, and have some interesting news dropping right now in Raid Shadow Legends. It's about the summon rush that we already know are expecting to come up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yes, we know that by the fusion calendar that is part of the Supreme Elhain fusion, and everybody who is going for this fusion is dreading this moment where they have to pull Supreme and pull shards to get fragments champion, 20 fragments champion for this champion Supreme Elhain. If you're not going for this fusion this weekend, you totally ignore it. You don't need to pull your shards. So it's about the 10x champion that are going to be part of this summon rush. That's what I wanted to announce. That was the drop for us in the content creator chat. So here they are. The first champion that will be part of this 10x this weekend is going to be Supreme Elhain. Yes, we did know that they are going to drop these champions. We thought it would be a guaranteed event or a guaranteed legendary summoning or one of those ways to get these champions, but they are doing it through a 10x. And Supreme Elhain can be obtained by pulling. This champion is from the Sacred Order faction, right? Supreme Elhain. So that's this champion. You can obtain this champion, Void champion, by pulling your Void shard. And on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the summon rush will be on. So if you're pulling shards to reach that summon rush point to get that 20 fragments for Supreme Elhain, you might be lucky and get Supreme Elhain. I don't know if it's that lucky because everybody is looking forward to getting Supreme Cain, right? That's what is the most needed champion, I think, out of the three, followed by this other Ox faction champion. But anyways, this champion is part of this 10x, and we're not going to go through their skills. I just wanted to let you guys know who they are, so you expect what to get, whether it's going to be a good time to pull your shards or not. And this will also help you decide whether you want to pull secret shards, void shards, or ancient shards. Remember, for summon rush to get the maximum amount of points needed, you always want to go for your secret shards. That's the fastest way to complete summon rush rather than using your ancient shards or void. So secret shards gives you the most amount of points. So that's the first champion. The next one is going to be Martial, and this champion is from the Undead Hordes faction. That's one I don't own. Martial up till now, 3 years of playing the game, I still don't own this champion. He's known as the Fear Vampire, whatever you want to call it. This champion places so much healing on himself when he's taking turn, and if you don't build him enough damage, he will not do the big nukes. But he's very annoying to come across in the arena because once he takes this skill, right, he places through fear. It's not just fear, through fear and leech on all enemies for 2 turns. Through fear for 2 turns is crazy. That means if you take a turn and you get that through fear, you miss your turn entirely. That particular skill will go on cooldown as if you used it. So he's the best champion for that purpose in raid, as I know it. Of course, it's a weak way of dealing with our CC because enemies can always have block debuff buff or very high resist, and a cleanser like Mistrider that can take care of this for her team. So that's why it's not that popular in arena, but for PvE content, you can fear them and they'll miss out on that skill. One I'm still looking forward to obtaining in raid and using maybe in content. Also great clan boss champion. I think there are many teams in the clan boss and the Deadwood Jedi that rely on Martial as the damage dealer. So if you get this champion, you will not be disappointed with his skills and all that. The next champion that is part of this 10x is going to be Kyoku. Now this is a kind of a recent champion that was launched into Raid Shadow Legends, and she is from the Shadow King faction, right? Because according to the name, you can already tell. Another one I don't own, Spirit Affinity champion, so you can summon ancient shards, you can summon secret shards to obtain her during this weekend 10x. And I think she's best known for this passive. Let me check the passive first. Every time this champion is hit with a critical heal, heals all allies 15% of their max HP. Check out. Places increased defense on all allies. So this is one of this champion like a seeker who, when you hit him, he just places increased defense. And she's a defensive based champion, and she has a good aura that can be used in all battles. 30% increased defense in all battles. You can place her in the leader slot if you need more defense. I thought she has one more. I think I'm thinking of the wrong person. She has ally protection and block damage, so this champion can keep your team alive. Awesome defensive based champion from the Shadow King faction. One I still don't own. I'll appreciate her a lot if I do get her one day. And now finally the 4th legendary that will be part of this 10x is gonna be a Skinwalkers faction champion called Samson the Martial. Where is he? Samson. This is also a new one that I do not own. I don't have a lot of champions. I thought I have all of them by now. But yeah, he's the baboon or whatever you want to call this type of creature. And he's kind of new to raid, and a lot of people don't know yet what he does. And he's not popular, even as a champion who just got into the game. He's not that quite popular. A1 that stuns, A2 that removes all increased defense from enemies. You see, that's why he's not that popular. Why not just make this champion cleanse everything? Why he's gonna remove only increased defense? He places an extra hit if this attack kills an enemy, and then increase accuracy and increase crit damage. Now those are two weird things. I don't know of many nukers who need increased accuracy, because why are you increasing accuracy and increases crit damage for your allies? Well, I guess maybe he's be doing it for himself and grants an extra turn. Remove the increased defense, then grants himself an extra turn to then go in there and nuke them. He's not a champion. If I own him, I don't think his skill set is that important for me to use in content right now. Decreased damage this champion received from critical hits by 20%, counter attacks. Nah, still not impressed by him. But let me know what you think about Samson the Martial. I don't know much experience about him yet, but from his skill set, I don't think he's gonna be useful for my particular account. All right, these are the legendaries, 4 legendaries that are gonna be dropping, and that's not all. They also have epic champions you could pick up when you're pulling, and the first one is Seer from the Ox faction, one that it still eludes me up till today. I thought I have all the epic champion, but she's still missing because maybe I've not been pulling a lot of void shards, and the few void shards I have pulled, I've been getting good stuff, but Seer is not one of them. Especially this new dragon or dungeon 10 content hard that is coming up. All people are using Seer as the clearer for the wave 1 and 2. I'm there using a poison explosion for wave 1 and 2. Damn, one day I'll get a Seer though. One day. So will I be pulling shards this 10x? I'll let you know at the end of this video, but she is part of this 10x. We'll not talk about her skill much because you already know she's the best nuker for waves for dungeon content. The next one is Deacon Armstrongs from the Secret Order faction, right? Deacon is from the Secret Order right there. Is one I've yet to do a champion guide about because I didn't use him in early game content or end game content. The only reason why I got into 60, I'm gonna talk about him and building is because I wanted to use him for content for the YouTube. So, but this is not a champion that I've really been part of my team ever. But he's best known for placing that decreased defense on the enemies while granting his team an extra turn right there to now fills the turn meter of all allies by 15%, and yeah. While filling your own and decrease the turn meter of enemies by 50% at the same time, grants an extra turn before it goes for this decreased defense debuff. So that's Deacon Armstrong, awesome champion. If you can get him in the early game, you can be your leader in all battles. 19%, huge, and right there for an epic champion that can be in the leader slot for everywhere. So a lot of people using for that content, even clan boss. All right, the next champion epic that is gonna be part of this 10x is gonna be Mistrider deity. I think that's from the newest Sylvian Watchers faction, and I guess they have to include it. So we have these champions ready for when this faction will be released. The faction is still not open, but get all these champions. If you have them, don't use them as food, keep them until that faction is released. This is not also a champion that I don't own and I'm not having a lot of information about. A1 that has a 50% chance of removing random buff of the target, and then all attacks all enemies, decrease defense, grant an extra turn if a 30% decrease defense is placed on all enemies by this skill. Which Affinity champion force, so he might get resisted in some or get some weak hits in some champion. But anyways, places a 50% increase attack, 50% increase accuracy buff on this champion, grants for 3 turns, then grants an extra turn. This seems like a nuker type of champion who he is buffing himself, placing decreased defense AoE, but he doesn't have a nuke. I think he's setting up the battle for somebody else. But why is he buffing himself while doing it though? So he can be resisted, I guess, when his decreased defense is getting to land. All right, the last one that is part of this 10x is going to be Seeker. One that I just talked about is kind of Kyoku. And yeah, Sika is from which faction? Undead faction. He's currently my main champion in my or one of the champion I use in my Bat Eater team with 2 man-eaters. So Sika is a epic champion you can obtain. He's not that useful in the early game, that's what I found out, but for arena a lot of people use him for that content, but for dungeon content not so much. He could be your increased attack champion if you don't have somebody like a somebody else to place increased attack for you, but that's what it brings. He also has increased filter meter of your allies, grants an extra turn before he goes in for a provoke on his A1 right there, which is not useful for the clan boss, but I have him in the clan boss because of that filter meter skill and maybe for the increased attack. He has an increased defense in all battles by 30%, so there you go. He should be useful in every content, but people only use him in specific content like clan boss or arena. So I guess it depends on whether you want to use him for dungeon, but he's kind of good for that content if you have no other options. All right, that's the champions that are available for this 10x on Friday that will be launching. So when you'll be pulling your shards to obtain the required number of fragments for this summon rush, these are the champions you should be expecting and crossing your fingers to obtain, because there's a 10-time chance they will drop for you. Unfortunately, I'll be skipping out on this summon rush despite me going for this fusion. So how did I do it? Well, during the first time I made my fusion plan, I let you guys know that if you, without winning any tournaments, you could get 110 shards. I mean, 110 fragments from all these events and tournaments. But if you skip out on summon rush entirely, you'll be missing 10. You'll be at 90 and missing 10. So what did I do? I went ahead and won Spider tournament and I won Classic Arena 1. So by me winning 5 extra fragments from these 2, it means I can skip summon rush entirely, miss out on 20, and I've already gained 10. So my 90 that I will be at plus my 10 that I have extra fragments that I've obtained from winning Spider and Classic Arena has given me the 10 I needed to complete the fragments for Supreme Elhain. Therefore, I now have the authority and boldness to skip out on the summon rush. So my fusion plans have already been straightforward. I've already told you guys from the beginning how I plan to approach it, and I did achieve my mission of skipping out on summon rush. Why am I so bent on skipping out on summon rush? Because this 10 times chance, all these champions I just named out for you guys, guess what? You might pull a void legendary, many 4-5 void epics. You won't get a seer, you won't get a supreme Elhain. You'll be getting the legendaries on epics, but none will be part of these ones that they advertise. You'll be pulling your ancients and sacred shards. You will not see a martial art, you will not see a kyoku. So that's the problem right now in raid, that these 10x events are not giving us the champions that advertise. It's a very low chance for you to get the champion. Even if it seems like a 10x is a high chance, you think it's 10 in 100. No, it's like 10 in 1,000 chance that you get these champions advertised. So until they increase the chances of getting these champions, a 20x, a 30x, I will keep skipping out on summon rush like this or 10x like this. I'll still have to let you guys know what's coming, but I'll always inform you how I plan to approach it. And me, I'm skipping out on summon rush. Do not skip out on this summon rush if you're going for this Supreme Elhain fusion. Do not skip out on it if you don't already have the 10 extra fragments available for yourself. So that's how I plan to approach it. Some people skip out on champion chase and they're going hard for this summon rush so they can get only extra 5 fragments. So I've skipped out on summon rush entirely and I won the 10 extra fragments I needed before the summon rush even started. So I know I'm 100% safe. Alright, that's all I have for you guys right now. That's all that is available in Raid Shadow Legends in terms of news and stuff that are going on. The Ice Golem and the Fire Knight are coming and I'm not looking forward to it at all. If I wanted to check how many fragments I have so far from this Supreme Elhain, you'll see me sitting at a bold 60, I think, because I've not completed the artifact announcement that just started. So I'll be at fragments for 75. 60, yeah, I was right. All right, let me know which one you'll be going for. How many fragments are you sitting out on right now? Have you won any events or tournaments that will make you skip out on this summon rush? How is your approach still looking? And hopefully you've not failed any of these tournaments that will make you now miss this entire fragment fusion. Later, guys.